Morning, everyone. Today we look at Saint Agnes, who was a very young martyr. She was actually martyred at the age of 12. Now, one might sort of say, well, how can a young girl at the age of 12 have such religious conviction that she was prepared to die? Well, clearly she was. And one can only admire her strength of character and her spirituality and her love of the Lord that she was prepared to do that. We don't know an awful lot about her, as often we don't with these saints, but we do know that she existed, and we do know that she was martyred for what she believed in. In Mark's Gospel today, it's an interesting one, chapter 2, it says, the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. And that's one that we also need to pay attention to, is that the Sabbath existed, remember if we have a look in the creation story, that God created for 6 days, however we might see that in terms of real terms. He created for 6 days, and on the seventh day he rested. And that rest day is important because it's God's day. And therefore, that Sabbath that was made for us needs to be a day when we rest from other tasks as well, and that we make God the focus of our attention. So when we'd say things like, oh no, we need to go to Mass and we need to be prayerful and so forth, it's not something we invented, and it's not simply following one of the 10 commandments of keeping the Sabbath holy. But it's also a recognition that that Sabbath was specifically made so that we could give time to God. And it's not just a rule. That is part of creation. That's the way God formed us. So that knowing our needs, knowing that we needed to rest, that he says, this day was made that you may have it. So it's God's day. It's not a day that other things should get in the way. So if perhaps we are putting barriers in the way, we need to be aware of those. So even things like saying, oh, we're going off to visit family, so we can't go to church, or we are involved in sport, or something like that. I mean, so well, hang on. Ultimately, what is important? Make sure we get our priorities right, because out of 7 days, the Lord's only giving us one, that we come to him. You have a wonderful day. Keep yourself safe. We'll see you again. God bless. Bye-bye.